And hello again. In this video, we're going to be talking about alternative forms of paths that we can use to get around the landscape, especially ones that are for more intensive small areas around the garden. But we're going to start looking at a few more just mown paths through prairie type plantings because this is one of the best ways to get around the landscape on a broader scale. It's something that we've used a lot at our place, as you know. For our main paths, we keep largely in grass and mow with a push-powered reel mower. And the reason why I'm showing it again is some people get the idea that this is somehow kind of cheating to have that, and partially because lawn has gotten such a bad rap. But there's nothing cheating about it at all. It's a fantastic way to manage the landscape. And that allows us to pick our places where we want to do smaller wood chip mulch or mulch paths, as you can see here, branching out from our main paths in our garden. Here's another one that we designed and installed where, again, these are kept very small so that when the plants all grow in, these will largely become self-maintaining. They'll be shaded out and should last quite a while with only a little bit of spot mulching here and there. Next up, we have a series of images of little small cobblestone and stepping stone paths that we use in some very intensive ornamental areas that are permanent paths. These first images are ones that we were installing at Lily House. They do take a little bit more time and effort to get right during the installation. All of these then have also been planted with ground cover, in this case of creeping thyme, clover, creeping chamomile, things like that. To do these right, you really want to remove the sod, get a nice level surface, perhaps use some path or landscaping sand to get a good, level, compact surface before you start. Then you'll have something that will really last for a long period of time. Some of the other images that I took here are just as by way of citation. All of these are available at the link that you'll see. These aren't my images. These are ones that I have on the internet or found on the internet. But I did want to cite them all so you can find where all these came from and find the articles and sources for them with the link that I provided. So I am a huge fan of crazy pavers because I think they're a very long-lasting way of managing a path. Part of the reason why is that, normal concrete will break up like this anyway over time. So if you start with something that has that aesthetic, it will age well and stand the test of time. And if it cracks or breaks up a bit, it really doesn't have an impact on the aesthetic. Personally, I'm more a fan of recycled concrete, recycled materials wherever possible for things like this instead of like mined materials or quarried materials like flagstone or brick. But, really, because they'll last so long, it's, an understandable use of materials in my opinion. Next up, we have a set of similar applications, crazy pavers, but that were done with wood. The first one here is one that I installed with an edible landscaping little mini forest garden installation. I have a couple images here with recycled wood and to a rock mulch base. I really like this. This could work well in a shady area, but then in an area with more sun, this would probably require landscaping fabric underneath. This one probably could be done without landscaping fabric and just have something where the rocks are. Railroad ties or large recycled wood, I think, makes an amazing path. Of course, this is great for places where you want to walk and have a leisurely stroll, but maybe not so much for a working path. You're certainly not going to get a wheelbarrow down that path very easily. And here's another one that's primarily wood rounds for something like this. I think that works really great. I think that'll last quite a while and give a great effect. Now I have a few more with stepping stones and kind of sparse crazy pavers that have been planted with ground covers. If you get these right, they're going to last for a really, really, really long time with very low maintenance. And you could plant food plants all through there. You could plant flowers. You could do anything with that, and it would last a long time. Absolutely love this one for a hill. It's wood fronts with brick steps, and that looks beautiful. Just some simple crazy paver stepping stones here. I really like this. It's narrow and shady, so it's going to last forever. And I included this one because I like the effect that they got with very low cost paver materials, yet this looks very rich, very ancient, and very wabi-sabi to me. And here's just another small area of mossy stepping stones. Some of the most artful mosaics of path types that I've ever seen have been in Japanese gardens. This one is just fantastic. A little bit of rock mulch, a few stepping stones, some concrete pavers, all put together make an amazing effect. It's art that you walk on. But more importantly, this would be incredibly practical and long lasting. Now, in a Japanese garden, these steps are actually supposed to be imperfect and a little bit difficult to negotiate because they force you then to be aware of your surroundings and mindful of your steps on the path. And that's a trick I would like to see used more in Western gardens too. It could even be put to good use in a productive garden. So, in the end, when we're talking about these small, intensive spaces, we can actually use a mix of all these different techniques to get the best effect and to maximize our productivity and ease of use of the garden while minimizing our maintenance.